Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Muhammad Sahadat, English teacher of Hathazari Girls High School and College. Once again, I welcome you to my new online class. My dear students, I think you are sitting in front of me with your necessary materials to practice this lesson, what I will discuss in my class. Dear students, you certainly know that we uploaded so many classes. In my first and second classes, I discussed about transformation of sentences from affirmative to negative. Today, I would like to discuss about transformation of sentences from assertive to interrogative. This is very important lesson for all the students because we can't imagine our daily conversation without assertive sentence and interrogative sentence. So, before going to the prime discussion, I am going to remind you again what assertive sentence is and what interrogative sentence is. An assertive sentence is a kind of sentence or a group of words which expresses any assertion, statement or description. Suppose you want to describe anything about yourself, about others, about any place, about any person or about anything. It is an assertive sentence. Suppose I'm going to school. I go to school every day. My shirt is red. My shirt is blue. The cow is a useful animal. In this way, if you describe anything, it will be an assertive sentence. An interrogative sentence is asking of anything, such as, do you go to school every day? Did you go to school yesterday? Or what do you want? Whom do you call? In this way, if you ask anything about any place, person or thing, it will be interrogative sentence. So my dear students, our prime discussion is transformation of sentences from assertive to interrogative. Here assertive sentence and it is for interrogative sentence. Assertive sentence, subject plus auxiliary verb, affirmative and other words of the sentence, then full stop. If you want to make it interrogative, you have to use auxiliary verb in the beginning and you have to make it negative. Then you have to put your subject, then other words of the sentence, then note of interrogation. If you get your auxiliary verb in negative form, you have to use it in affirmative form before the subject. Then other words of the sentence, then note of interrogation. So if you take example, it will be more clear to you. Suppose in assertive sentence we have got he is reading some books. He is reading some books. If you want to make it interrogative, you have to follow the way, because after subject you have got an auxiliary verb and it is an affirmative verb and you have to make it negative before the subject. So in the beginning of the sentence, make it negative. We have made it negative now. Is has become isn't. Then put your subject, then other words of the sentence. Among other words of the sentence, there will not be any change. Just you write all the words. Isn't he reading some books? Okay, now take another example. In assertive sentence, suppose you have got she hasn't broken the glass. She hasn't broken the glass. So if you want to make it interrogative, just you have to put your auxiliary verb before the subject. It is in negative form, you have to make it affirmative form. That means negative word would be abolished. Has she broken the glass? Has she broken the glass? Now it has become an interrogative sentence. So in this way, if you get auxiliary verb in your sentence, If you get your auxiliary verb affirmative, you have to make it negative before the subject. If you get your auxiliary verb negative, you have to make it affirmative before the subject. So in this way, if you get any assertive sentence with auxiliary verb, you can follow this rule to make it interrogative. So now go to the next rule. So in rule number 2, assertive sentence. If you get your assertive sentence without any auxiliary verb, in your assertive sentence, if you don't find any auxiliary verb, so how will you change it into interrogative sentence? First of all, you have to use don't or doesn't or didn't according to the tense of the sentence and number and person of the subject of the sentence. Then you have to put your subject, then you have to use verb present form, then other words of the sentence. Suppose, take example, in assertive sentence, you get this sentence, I help you at the time of doing the work. Okay, now make it interrogative. If you want to make it interrogative, here you have to think whether this sentence has auxiliary verb or not. After subject, there is main verb. So, there is not any auxiliary verb. So, in this respect, we have to use don't or doesn't or didn't. So, after the subject, we get verb present form, and that's why this is present indefinite tense. So, according to the structure of present indefinite tense, if we want to make any interrogative sentence, we have to take help of don't or doesn't. Here subject is past person, that's why we will take only don't. We will take don't to make it interrogative, then subject, then other words of the sentence, verb present, help you at the time of doing the work. Then note of interrogation. You have to put note of interrogation. Don't I help you at the time of doing the work? Now it has become interrogative. And if you get third person singular number according to structure of present indefinite tense, here you see how will you make it interrogative. He helps the poor. Here subject is third person singular number and our sentence is according to the structure of present indefinite tense, so we have to take help from doesn't. Then you have to put your subject, then verb present. Here as or es will not be used. Okay, only the base form of the verb will be used here because it has taken doesn't. When doesn't, don't or didn't will work to make any negative sentence or interrogative sentence, you can't use as or es with the present form of verb. So doesn't he help? Then other words, the poor. So the sentence stands for doesn't he help the poor? Now it has become interrogative sentence. Now example number 3. Suppose after subject you have got past form of verb. She went to school. She went to school yesterday. She went to school yesterday. Now make it interrogative. So after the subject, this is past form. So you have to make this sentence interrogative by taking help didn't. That means if you get any sentence in past indefinite tense, you have to use didn't to make it interrogative sentence. So now use didn't then subject she, then present form of verb. Went is past form, so present form will be go. Didn't she go? Then to school yesterday. Here study and note of interrogation. Now it has become what? Interrogative sentence. Didn't she go to school yesterday? Okay, so if you get any assertive sentence without auxiliary verb, you have to follow this rule to make it interrogative. My dear students, now go to the next. In this rule, if you get assertive sentence with everybody or everyone or all, you have to use who plus doesn't or didn't according to the structure of the tense of the sentence and other words of the sentence. Suppose here everybody hates a liar. Make it interrogative. Here in place of everybody you have to use what? Who. Then according to tense, here the sentence is in present indefinite tense, so if you get present indefinite tense you have to use doesn't. If you get past indefinite tense you have to use didn't. So the sentence in present indefinite tense, so we are going to use doesn't. Who doesn't hate a liar? Who doesn't hate a liar? Now it has become interrogative sentence. Now take another example. Everyone voted him. If you want to make it interrogative, you have to use who. You have to think about tense of the sentence. Here the structure is according to past indefinite tense, so you have to use didn't. Who didn't? Then present form of verb, both, then him, then you have to use note of interrogation. Now it has become interrogative sentence. In this way, if you get all love him for his honesty. All love him for his honesty. Now make it interrogative. Here in place of all you have to use who, then it is in present indefinite tense, so you can use doesn't. Present form of verb. At first in place of all you have to use who, then it is in present indefinite tense, that's why you have to use doesn't, then you have to use present form of verb, then other words of the sentence. Him for his honesty. Then note of interrogation. Who doesn't love him for his honesty? In this way, if you get everybody, everyone or all in your assertive sentence, by following this rule, you can make it interrogative sentence. Now let's talk about the next rule. If you get nobody or none in your assertive sentence, you have to use who plus verb plus other words plus note of interrogation to make it interrogative sentence. Now take example. If you get your sentence in this way, nobody was present. So if you want to make it interrogative, just use who in place of nobody, then verb was, then other words. Here other word is present. Now note of interrogation. Who was present? Number 2. None can touch the hot pot. None can touch the hot pot. If you want to make it interrogative, in place of none you have to use who. Then verb can touch the hot pot. If you get nobody or none in your assertive sentence, by following this structure, you have to make it interrogative. And if you follow this example, I think it will be very clear to you. So my dear students, I think you are staying at home and you are maintaining every rule of health and hygiene so that you can be free from coronavirus or any other kind of diseases. And you are enjoying the classes of your respective teachers, and you are preparing your homework properly. So my dear students, there is another advice for you. Never neglect any duty towards your parents. If your parents tell you anything, you have to do accordingly. So my dear students, stay at home, stay happy, stay conscious. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.